Hi, my name's Shuna Balnaves and I'm from Free Self Coaching and Training. I wanted to share with you a really simple and quick and very effective technique with you today. So we've probably all had times where we've got a lot of chatter going on in our heads. That could be because we're really busy or a bit stressed, so we just have a lot going on in our minds, or it might even stop us going to sleep. So, would it be really handy if I could teach you a really simple technique that could just make all of that chatter go away and you could have a nice, quiet mind? Sound good? Okay. So, you can do this anywhere. It's a very discreet and simple thing to do. It might just take a little bit of practice, but like I said, very straightforward thing. And just to explain briefly what it is, we spend a lot of our time in what's called foveal vision, which can be exacerbated by using our mobile phones. So we're just sort of staring at those blinkered. It can be just using computer screens, using televisions, or even reading a book. We all get stuck in that blinkered foveal vision. So this technique actually makes use of what's called peripheral vision. And if you haven't experienced or know what that term is, it's when you can start to see further out in your field of vision than just what's directly in front of you. So I'm just going to talk you through how simple this technique is to do, and if you want to follow along with me while I'm doing it, then great, do so. If not, you can practice this yourself afterwards, but it's really simple. So what you need to do to start with is just find a point in front of you that's slightly above your normal line of vision. So it could be the top of the wall where it meets the ceiling, or anything that's just outside of your normal line of vision. So just raise your eyes up slightly. And then what I want you to do, once you've fixed on a spot for a moment, is to then expand your field of vision out to the side as far as you can go. And one way of doing this, and I'm not suggesting you do this every time because you may look a bit silly if you do this everywhere, but just to test that you're getting your vision where you want it to be, you can hold your fingers up to your sides. So once you've focused on that spot and you've started to expand your vision out, then you can just hold your fingers up and wiggle them, see if you can see your fingers wiggling, and see how far back you can actually get them while you can still see your fingers. So for me, it's around about there, which is not far off 180 degrees. And with practice, you may be able to get it a bit further back, but just as far back as you can go will put you into peripheral vision. So just hold that vision of being in peripheral vision for a moment. Just stare on that spot for a moment just to be sure that you've got it. And then what I want you to do is then bring your sight down while you're keeping yourself in peripheral vision and just start to look around at a few things in the room. And you should start to notice that if you look at any objects, they'll look as though they're standing out from the background a little bit. And that's another sign that you've definitely got it right, you're in peripheral vision. So like I said, this may take a couple of times to practice to get it right, but once you've done it, you'll notice it makes a difference. So we'll just run through that again. So just pick a spot in front of you that's just slightly above your normal line of vision, and then start to take your vision out to the sides. And again, I'm just going to use my fingers to make sure I've got it right, that I've expanded my vision out as far as I possibly can. So just stare at a spot in front of you for a moment and just notice what's going on inside your head. So I've noticed straight away that the normal chatter that's going on, apart from what I'm saying at the moment, has gone away. So my mind feels much more quiet and calm. So that's what this technique is great for, is actually calming your mind down. So give that a go, and I'd love to hear how that goes for you. There's actually another couple of uses that you can use this technique for. So like I said, the main reason I generally use it and I advise my clients to use it is to just quieten the mind down when you've got a lot of chatter going on. And I actually use this sometimes if I'm struggling to drop off to sleep, for example, and I've got the events of the day, what I'm doing tomorrow going through my head. I simply just put myself into peripheral vision and it quiets my mind down, and then I can just gently slip off into sleep. And that even works if you've got your eyes closed. You can still go into peripheral vision even with your eyes closed, which is great. Another use is if you meditate. It's a really good thing to do before you start meditating. Sometimes people can experience thoughts running through their head and find it difficult to switch off and meditate. this will help you get into the right frame of mind for actually meditating. And then one fantastic use that I often teach this to people for is to actually aid learning. So this is great to teach to your kids. So what if we get technical, it's actually altering your brain waves. And by altering your brain waves, it actually makes it easier for you to absorb and retain information, and then also recall it when you need to. So by teaching this to kids, teach it so that when they're doing any studying, any revision, if they go into a state of peripheral vision while they're actually learning things, it'll go into their memory banks a lot more easily. And then also when they sit down in an exam and need to recall that information, if they then also go into this peripheral vision, they'll find they can recall it a lot more easily. So it's a really great thing to teach to your kids, or even if you're doing any learning yourself, there's something you need to remember. So give it a go, have some practice, and I look forward to hearing about your results with it. So please get in touch if you found this useful. Thanks. Bye.